Hey, good morning, everyone. Today's Monday, April 27th, and here are your learning targets for today. I'm also going to post the learning targets for the week here on Monday's Google Classroom post. So check out the weekly targets, but here are today's. Math board, going to work on your facts levels. IXL, we're going to do P8 today, looking at equivalent fractions. I'll show you a couple examples to get you started. And one of my favorite science apps, the Earth app. I'll explain that. All right, in this first example, we're going to make an equivalent fraction to 1/3. Again, I can always draw pictures, but I want to start thinking mathematically now with how to convert a fraction like 1/3 specifically to a fraction that already has a numerator of 2. So last week there were lessons on how to multiply or divide to make an equivalent fraction. In this case, to get a 2 in the numerator, we're going to multiply 1 times 2, and then we're going to do the same with the denominator, 3 times 2, which would make 6. So 2/6 is equivalent to 1/3. In this example, I'm looking at a way we can divide to show an equivalent fraction. So I've given you the answer. 6/12 is equal or equivalent to 2/4. To show the division, we're going to do 6 divided by 3 would give you the new numerator 2, and 12 divided by 3 would give you the new denominator of 4. But I also want you to notice something a little bit more simple. 6/12, you know, is exactly 1/2. And so when you're looking at a denominator of 4, to make the equivalent as a half, 2/4 would be 1/2, and 6/12 would also be 1/2. And then you'll have examples like this when you get closer to the challenge zone today. 5/10, you cannot multiply or divide anything to make a numerator of 3. Okay, so I'm going to erase this and show you something else. We know that we can still make an equivalent fraction to 5/10. I know that 5/10 is equivalent or the same as 1/2. So now that I have 1/2 here, I'm going to say 1/2. How can I make that equivalent to 3 over something? Well, and now I can multiply 1 times 3 would give me a numerator of 3, and 2 times 3 would give me a denominator of 6. And another one, again, when you look at this, 5/10 is equal to a half, and 3/6 is also equal to a half. Another one in the challenge zone, I'm looking at 3/12. There's no possible way that I can divide or multiply to make a numerator of 2. So what I'm going to do beforehand is I'm going to think of something else that is equivalent to 3/12. So I'm going to find that common multiple, and in this case I can divide. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 12 divided by 3 would give me a 4. So 3/12 is equivalent to 1/4. So now that I know that, I'm going to take my 1/4 and I'm going to then try to make an equivalent fraction to the 2 here, if you notice that. So in this case, I can multiply by 2. 1 times 2 equals 2, and then keeping things equal, do the denominator the same way. 2/8 is equivalent to 1/4. And here's one of my favorite science apps. And when you open up the app called the Earth, right up here in the top corner is a picture of a volcano. When you tap that, you're going to actually open up the handbook for this app. And it's going to be able to give you a detailed explanation of exactly how to use it and how the Earth is going through constant change over time. This app will show you many, many different ways on how you can actually manipulate and see for yourself how the Earth is going through changes. When you go into the app, the first thing you notice is there is a timeline here. You can go back. Right now this shows the current present day, and so as you go this way, you're going back in time. This little handle here will pull a curtain across, and you can see under the Earth's layer. Right now I have it covered up, so check this out. You can go back in time. You can see the Earth going through changes, those plate tectonics. Here you can look inside the core by screening that back and forth. And here I'm going to tap the pictures and choose the volcano here. And I'm going to go into this volcano. I can do the same thing here on this shield volcano. And when I rub and tap, I can get this volcano blowing up a little bit. But we know, since it is a shield volcano, that it won't explode too much. It'll just ooze that thin lava, creating that shield volcano. But play around and explore with this, because you can also see several other types of volcanoes in this app and many other features like this next one. Remember when Doug talked about root wedging? This part is the biological weathering, and so I'm going to drop these seeds into these little cracks here in the Earth's layer. Could be rocks, could be just cracks in the earth here, but once seeds find their way, watch what happens over time. This is what we call root wedging. It's a type of weathering or erosion or breakdown and changing of the Earth's features. So enjoy the app, explore it, and if you learn anything very, very exciting, please post it to our Google Classroom and share with us what you learned in the app today, okay? Happy Science Day for you. So once again, those are your targets, you guys. Math board, facts levels, IXL, please complete P8, that's equivalent fractions. Remember, you can get to 80%, and that's good enough for me if you get to 80%, but those of you who want to challenge yourself and get to 100%, that's even better. And the Earth app, if you want to check that out. You're going to learn a lot in that app. All right, you guys have a great day.